The Emotion Code, an introduction. What is the Emotion Code? Well, the Emotion Code is a new book by that name, but it's also a method of finding and releasing trapped emotions. To understand what a trapped emotion is, we first need to talk a little bit about your body. Your body, as well as the entire universe, is made of nothing but pure energy. If you look at your hand, for example, you've seen that hand before. It's familiar to you. You could pick it out of a lineup of hands if you needed to. But if you magnify that hand about 10 times, you see it starts to look a little different. Here's a fingerprint. If you magnify it 50 times, you see the surface of the skin doesn't look like anything you're really familiar with at all. If you magnify that hand about 400 times, you start to see a field of swarming cells. And if you magnify a single cell about 3,000 times, you suddenly see a nucleus, the inner core of the cell. Magnified about 850,000 times, you can see an individual strand of DNA. And if you continue to magnify that up to about 1,000,000 times, you suddenly can make out the individual atoms that are making up that strand of DNA. At about 8 million times magnification, a single atom comes into view. And if you look inside of a single atom, you basically see nothing. Because inside the atom there really is nothing except vibrating energies with vast distances in between them. Your body is about 99.99999% empty space. So what is your body really? Your body is an energy field. Your body consists of myriad little energies that are all flying in formation, if you will, giving you this experience that you are having in this world. Well, thoughts, we know now, can be measured. Thoughts can be measured. And in fact, they're creating new equipment, video games, for example, and military equipment that actually measures thoughts to control devices. Well, emotions can be measured as well. And for example, shame is a different frequency than guilt, which is a different frequency or vibrational energy than despair, which is different than grief, and so on. Every emotion has its own specific vibration. Like a tuning fork vibrates and puts out a certain frequency of energy, when we are feeling an intense emotion, we are literally feeling a vibration. Our body is vibrating at a different rate than it was before. If the emotion is strong enough, it may become trapped in the body. We don't really understand the mechanism behind this yet, but sometimes emotions are so powerful that the energy field of the body becomes overwhelmed, and the energy of the emotion itself becomes lodged or trapped in the body. A trapped emotion is a ball of energy. Now here you can see that this woman is feeling an intense negative emotion, and a trapped emotion now is formed in her shoulder. A trapped emotion is about the size of an orange to about the size of a cantaloupe. And it will usually lodge in an area of the body where there is a pre-existing weakness or a symbolic relationship. A pre-existing weakness, for example, in this case, perhaps this woman has had a problem with her shoulder in the past. Maybe she's got a little injury. Or maybe there is some kind of symbolic significance. Maybe she feels like she's carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. This is where the trapped emotion in this case is actually gone. Trapped emotions are an epidemic in our world. They are causing at least half of all the pain that people are having right now. They are responsible in large part for the diseases that occur in our world. Every case of cancer that I've ever seen has always had trapped emotions at the core. Every disease, in fact, every condition that I have treated over 20 years now of practice have had trapped emotions as either the major cause, the sole cause, or as a major contributing factor to the disease. Now, trapped emotions affect us in two ways. They affect us physically because they distort the body's energy field. Remember, all your body is an energy field. And so when you distort the body's energy field, you distort the body tissues. And when you distort the body tissues, that ends up resulting in pain and malfunction and worse. Trapped emotions also affect us physically because the tissues that are within the sphere of that trapped emotional energy are vibrating continually at the rate of that particular vibrational frequency. So in a sense, those tissues are literally feeling that emotion on a continual basis. As a result, what happens is when a situation arises in which you might tend to feel a particular emotion, you will feel that emotion much more readily than you otherwise would if that trapped emotion is already existing in the body. Because feeling an emotion is a matter of feeling a vibrational energy. And if part of the body is already feeling that emotion or vibrating at that frequency, it's much easier for the rest of your body to fall into resonance with that energy. Trapped emotions are invisible, yet they exert a profoundly powerful effect upon us, creating depression, all manner of self-sabotage, persisting emotions that are difficult if not impossible to shake, like anger and resentment and frustration and aggression and so on. They also affect us physically, creating tremendous pain and discomfort and disease in our society. Now I'd like to talk for just a moment about the heart, which is really at the core of the emotion code. We now know that the human heart is much more than a pump. For many years now, we've had the ability to transplant hearts into people, and transplant recipients often inherit the affinities and memories of the donor. At first, this was discounted by medicine, but now, as more and more people are reporting these symptoms, feeling that they have been to places that they have never been before, places that the heart donor had actually been, inheriting the affinities, the loves, the affections of the donor, it can no longer be discounted. We now also have new equipment that enables us to measure the magnetic field of the heart and giving us much more detailed information about the heart than we ever had before. The heart has a magnetic field that is much more powerful than the brain, up to 5,000 times more powerful, in fact. This magnetic field extends out from the heart up to 12 feet in diameter. When you are focusing love or affection on another person, your heart waves will become instantly measurable in their brain waves. This has been proven in the lab. Let me say that one more time. When you focus love or affection on another person, your heart waves will become instantly measurable in that other person's brain waves. Think about that. Well, everyone has had the sensation at one point or another, that physical sensation of heartache or heartbreak. It's universal to mankind, and we feel those sensations because the heart is the core of our being. It's the seat of our soul, I believe. It's the core of who we really are. When we are injured by someone, or when we are deeply grieved, we can feel that sensation, that heartache. Well, sometimes the subconscious mind will take trapped emotions, which are simply excess energies in the body, and it will form a wall around the heart to protect the heart from being totally broken. We call this the heart wall. Heart walls are present in at least 93% of people in the U.S. The problem is when you have a heart wall, your heart energy, that love energy, does not get out like it should. When we have a heart wall, it makes it much harder for us to feel love. It makes it harder for us to fall in love and harder for us to stay in love. It also will create depression and something that I call an abundance block, where our true nature, the true desires that we have deep within us, the desires of our heart, become much more difficult to manifest in our lives because we have a wall around our heart. Now, that heart was put there initially when we were going through some kind of difficult situation, and it might have been a very appropriate thing at that time. But the problem is when you continue your life and try to live with a heart wall, it becomes much more difficult. The solution is the emotion code, which is written for everyone, regardless of age or knowledge. It's easy to learn and extremely powerful. In fact, It is, I believe, the most powerful self-help method that exists in the world right now. The book also teaches muscle testing, how to test others and release their trapped emotions, as well as teaching self-testing. We teach 4 different methods of self-testing in the Emotion Code so that you can actually tap into your own subconscious mind, find your trapped emotions, and release them simply and easily using magnets. The Emotion Code also teaches surrogate testing, which will enable you to test your children, to work on animals, to work on people who otherwise would not be able to be tested. And for the first time, the Emotion Code is making clear to anyone how to do proxy testing. The human body has the ability built right in it to act as proxy, to set aside its own needs temporarily and to act on behalf of another person. The Emotion Code teaches this very advanced method of muscle testing, which enables you to release trapped emotions from a family member or a loved one who may be thousands and thousands of miles away, literally on the other side of the planet or in another city. My name is Dr. Bradley Nelson. I'm the author of the Emotion Code. I'm a holistic chiropractic physician, and I developed the Emotion Code over 17 years of practice. For more information, go to theemotioncode.com to order the book. If you'd like to order the ebook, go to theemotioncode.com/ebook.html. Our blog is located at drbradleynelson.com. We have many links there, as well as radio interviews and other interesting items. If you're interested in attending our seminars, go to bodycodeseminars.com. Thank you.